It's showtime.
Good morning, Vietnam! Welcome to the party, pal!
See you at the party, Richter! I didn't kill my wife!
I don't care!
Get away from her, you bitch!
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
You did not going to say that, did you? What I do have are a very particular set of skills.
To do the binds.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Inconceivable!
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
This is a tasty burger.
Face.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
I'm the bad guy?
And hold. Smash.
I can speak with an English accent.
Hit the hash pipe and join the National Guard. I could be elected president.
You went over my helmet?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex? I know, right?
The list is in the open!
Hey, where are the white women at?
They're digging in the wrong place.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Are you not entertained?
Second start of the ride. And straight on till morning.
Meow.
You son of a bitch.
1.21 gigawatts!
Wax on. Wax off.
Oh my goodness, I am sporting a tremendous woody right now.
Bartender is the aristocrat of the working class.
You want to flip 6 3-hole play and you can score.
Cover me.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria!
On this team, we fight for that itch.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
No ticket.
No ticket.
I get older, they stay the same age.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. He's 15.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies.
Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and always with me, my hero life mate. All my feelings. How are you, sir?
I just thought of 3 more for that month now.
Oh,
It's
shut
gonna
up.
drive me nuts.
No backstage talk right now. What is the Reel McCoy, you might ask? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go watch a movie, you watch it, come back to us, and we break it down for you. All right, that'll be it. That'll be the final cut on that entire speech. I promise, or not. Anyway, during this February month, we're not celebrating Black Month. We actually celebrating a very white man called Robert Zemeckis. And that's the most political talk you'll hear from me today because I'm fucking steaming to no end on that point. It's a bad combination of staying at home sick and doom scrolling. It is the absolute worst.
What have I told you? Like, we had the conversation on Sunday about it too.
We had that conversation.
Have to get out of that bubble, buddy.
Yeah.
You have to.
It is awful. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, let's say a little to the chat. All the lurkers on X, on Rumble, and of course on YouTube. And good evening to Juliet. Welcome to the show. Welcome all your lurkers. Enjoy the show, because like I said, Robert Zemeckis is a very special kind of director. One of those directors that kind of was tuning into his own beat, I would say.
He was marching to his own drum.
Marching to his own drum. Thank you. Floating to his own flute. That sounds a bit gay. Never mind. Never mind.
Fingering his own holes. What? Huh? What?
The what now? Who? What? Who? No. So Robert Zemeckis is very special, but not that kind of a special. It's sort of a unique kind of a way because he had his own style and his own way of doing things. Sometimes
and he fought for his own artistic vision on multiple occasions, and sometimes it bit him in the ass.
Including this movie as well.
And this one paid off in massive dividends.
We're gonna get into it, but the movie we're talking about, of course, is Romancing the Stone with Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito, and several other character actors that you've probably seen in other different movies, like El Guapo for some reason. I forgot he was in this movie.
Well, yeah, and also that actor who is Alfonso Aru. He was in so many episodes of Bonanza. From like the 60s to the 70s, he was in so many episodes.
I read about that. I read about that.
He did. I think somewhere with like 30 to 40 episodes of Bonanza.
Wow,
like it's nuts.
I mean, Bonanza is like, how many episodes there is of Bonanza? Like 300?
I think like almost 400.
Yeah, that's a long ass show.
It's a long ass. It ran for the longest time. It was the longest running series of all time.
Yeah, and I think Law and Order broke that.
Law and Order, and then The Simpsons beat it.
The Simpsons, yeah. Simpsons, of course. All right, cool. So we start the show like we start every single show with me coughing with in muted mic like this. Not every show, but this show. But we start with a little segment called Behind the Screens.
Sound production, take 2.
And of course, I will apologize for actual coughing coming into the stream and an occasional sniff of the nose. Trust me, it is not Coke.
Well, it's just we're trying to bring out our inner Kathleen Turner voice.
Oh yeah.
My allergies are killing me, and Meph is sick as a dog. So we're suffering for our art here for you.
Real suffer.
Okay,
Let
Juliet,
me
thank
switch.
you. It's 430 episodes. Got it.
Juliet coming in.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Thank you.
430. Yowza. All right. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you. We will switch over to this. As you can see my notes. But behind the screens is where we turn to all my feelings, get the lowdown on everything behind the scenes, creative stuff, all that stuff, and I will add my own notes. Take it away, good sir. And if you need to tag me in, just tag me in,
Gotcha.
sir.
So one of the first things that is probably the best bit about this entire film, it was written by in 1979 by Diane Thomas, who was a waitress. She got it greenlit. Then the movie came out, and a year after its release, it's so sad. A Porsche that Michael Douglas gave her as a gift. They were driving to a meeting that they were going to have on the next film that she was working on, and her boyfriend was driving, and they died in the car accident. And it's just, it's such a sad story because how well written and snappy the dialogue is. It's
Yeah.
Can imagine what else she could have done. But one of the bigger notes too about this too is the studio was so certain that the film was going to bomb, they pulled Zemeckis from Cocoon,
which allowed him to do another movie that we're going to cover.
Just a little bit of a trilogy that made collectively over what, like 1.3 gigabillions?
Yeah, something like that. And to be fair, more than just the actual movie, we're going to talk about it in a couple of weeks, but more than just the actual movie or the actual trilogy, a cultural impact about what we think about time traveling. But we'll save that for a couple more weeks because we're probably going to talk more about everything around the movie rather than the full story of the movie, but we'll see. Yeah. Hi, War Monkey. Welcome. War Monkey, sorry. Welcome to the show. Let's go. Continue.
More stuff. So, so again, with the fact that it did so well, because it only had a $10 million budget, which I found very alarming. Because I'm like, I figured that Michael Douglas would have kitted up a little bit more, but we'll talk about Mr. Douglas in a second. But overall, $115 million gross.
Yeah, that's bonkers. One of the most. I think it was in the top 10 of the most grossing films of 1984. Remember,
it's like big year.
Temple of Doom. Beverly Hills, Ghostbusters, Karate Kid, Revenge of the Nerds, all of that, and Romancing the Stone came in 7th or 6th.
Yeah, like
somewhere in that vicinity. I know that Revenge of the Nerds is 9th, and Beverly Hills Cop is the 1st. Although I do get, it really depends on which site you're looking at. On the numbers, it's first. On Box Office Mojo, it's second to Temple of Doom.
Yeah. There's a lot of key-ins too to Mr. Spielberg because boy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They were buddies.
Yeah.
But so we have also, this is the first time that Alan Silvestri worked with Zemeckis, and it's really important because Zemeckis basically brought him on to compose every single other piece of work that he's ever done since. And Silvestri started off as just a sound editor, which is bonkers.
He's my second favorite composer after John Williams.
Yeah, and he started off as basically just like, well, I'm working on this project. Well, we have to cut it. So they had to cut the original composer's budget down. So he quit. So he's like, well, I kind of like the stuff you're doing. Apparently, Zemeckis also likes slap pop bass because you're going to hear a lot of it.
To be fair, the original composer was James Horner.
Yeah.
But he left because of scheduling issues. Do you know with what?
Oh, really?
Star Trek. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I heard there was a budget issue too with that, but nah.
I didn't see anybody. I know that he was scheduled. I don't know if he was paid or not, but he was scheduled to do it, or he was asked to do it. But he backed off because he turned it down because of scheduling issues, and he went to do Star Trek.
Yeah. So, some casting stuff, which is funny.
Oh yeah, that's fun. I've seen the casting list, and it's
originally it was supposed to be Sylvester Stallone, who decided to do a little film called Rhinestone, and oh boy, he said that this was one of the biggest regrets of his entire career. Like I should have done this.
Literally, this one and Stop or My Mind Will Shoot comes up as regret. He didn't regret Oscar, but he regretted this one.
This one. I mean, like Stallone, buddy, there are a lot of films in your catalog that you should probably regret a little bit more, more. But then Burt Reynolds, Paul Newman, and Christopher Reeve turned it all down.
Yeah, and there's I think I've got one more on the list.
I think it was Clint Eastwood was the other big one.
Yeah, the Clint Eastwood and the Paul Newman thing. I think that was they didn't know what age they wanted Colton to be.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, that also Michael Douglas was like, "Fuck it, I'm producing it. I'm just gonna star myself."
Oh! One name that I saw that I don't know. Two names. One is Jack Nicholson. On the same vein as Paul Newman? On the same kind of vein as Paul Newman?
Kind of, but some of the line delivery would have been actually kind of meme-worthy, though, now.
Probably. But Kurt Russell.
Well, that's what I was thinking the entire time I was watching, this is not only just the when he killed the snake, because Snake Plissken, but because I'm thinking, was it Captain Jack?
He would have made the jokey parts, because there are some jokey parts. The delivery could have been better than Michael Douglas. I believe so.
Well, I was thinking the entire time is this Jack is like our other favorite Jack.
Yeah,
Big Trouble in Little China, because I'm like, that would. Could you imagine if you pull up with the Pork Chop Express at the end of the movie? I would have been like, the best tie-in ever.
Wasn't Big Trouble in Little China 86 or 87?
Yes, it was way after, but still, it would have been funny. This is where Jack ended up in Chinatown at the end of it because he blew everything with Joan.
Yeah, exactly. He blew everything with Joan. So
that'd be great. So
she's the ex in Jack's story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the other bit too is the other actual female that was in contention for a major leading role was oddly Deborah Winger.
Not so odd for the time, but yeah.
But what's odd? She apparently bit Michael Douglas at a dinner.
What?
That's true.
How?
I don't know, but there are multiple stories about it, and everyone can confirm that, Deborah Winger bit Michael Douglas.
That's weird because I have a note on a different bite that was later like unconfirmed or sort of like said that it wasn't true. The story was, the story was that there were some live snakes on set, and one of them bit Michael Douglas, and Danny DeVito was the one that like sucked the bite off. And way later on, I think it was on Seth Meyers. It was like
show, yeah.
Yeah, it was later. I was like, no, that never happened.
No, that's
it's
a different bite. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even Kathleen Turner wrote it in her memoirs that she basically assaulted Michael Douglas. So,
what a weird story.
Yeah, just a very odd turn of events. Yeah, but Paul, very Captain Ron vibe. Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes, dude, very much so. Very much.
The other big actual casting change that was really weird, but really would have played off well was Zemeckis originally wanted Bob Hoskins to play Ralph.
Same body type, I guess, as Danny DeVito.
But he couldn't get him, so Zemeckis got him later in
Roger
Rabbit. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So another kind of sad bit at the time. Originally, it was actually going to be shot and filmed in Colombia, but due to increases in kidnappings of Americans and other tourists, they decided to film it in Mexico.
You mean Pablo Escobar was ruling Cartagena? Yeah. Like with an iron fist kind of a way? Yeah. We know.
One fun bit. One song that wasn't actually composed by Alan Silvestri, but was actually commissioned by him, was a song called "Romancing the Stone," and you can actually hear the guitar interlude in several bits throughout the movie, and it was actually featured in the trailer heavily, but it wasn't actually included fully in the film, and it actually wasn't even included in the soundtrack. They kind of snubbed him. But people got the guitar riff, and people started to like it and wanted to hear more about it. So he actually released it by himself to massive acclaim. And
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
He made a lot of money off that.
Good for him, man. Good for him. Actually, if it was to be released within the movie, that would have bite off a chunk off his royalties, wouldn't it?
Yeah, which is kind of the best thing about it, because
they
didn't utilize it, so they actually cut him out. So the snippet in the song is utilized for the film itself and not the soundtrack. So technically, he still owned the rights to it.
Oh, okay.
So even though they commissioned it, they gave him the rights back because it wasn't actually utilized. So, bango, bango.
Nice. All right. Cool.
Yeah, so.
Talk to me about Kathleen Turner.
Oh.
I've seen the notes. Well, not your notes. I've seen my notes. They're pretty ridiculous.
She's not bad. She just drawn that way.
No, she is real bad.
She's real bad.
I'm surprised that she ended up being the voice of Jessica Rabbit after this.
I thought, well, to be fair, it's a perfect voice because it has that sultry undertone, which is perfect for Jessica Rabbit. Now now if you think about it now, who else could you imagine voicing Jessica Rabbit? I couldn't think of a single person.
There aren't many well-known actresses that they would take a chance on with that particular voice.
You know, the only one that
Sybil Shepherd?
Sybil, maybe. The only one that I could think of who was long dead since then was Marilyn Monroe. Because she had that kind of
but she wanted to be alone.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch last week's episode. It's interesting. People really like that. Not the episode. They like the review.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Yeah, it is.
So with Kathleen Turner.
Yes.
And Joan the character. let's just start with one major note. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Romeo was not in the original script. Her cat.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice her cat was named Romeo, but
yeah,
okay.
That Romeo, whatever out there. Yeah,
I get it. I get why it's named that way, because she's an author. She's writing romance. But yeah, I genuinely, I watched it today, didn't even think about.
And to be fair, without this
cat.
trip, she would have been the quintessential cat lady in about 5 years.
We're gonna get to it because I've got stuff to say. I've got some receipts.
But with there was actually an uncredited change, completely uncredited, by Travis Silverman, who worked on set. It's like, she's too unlikable. You have to at least give her an animal or something to make sure that she like shows affection to something to start off with, because Joan is not a very likable character. Like, she's way too naive, but also imbecile at times, but then too big for her britches and others, where it's like, characters all over the map.
Yeah, when we start to talk about, I think a lot of what they thought of was really of the time. When you look back at it, to me, that's how characters get their like a full redemption arc, or if you want to call it like a full character growth, where they start off at one point in the movie and they end up at a completely different area. Which kind of completes their transition between what they were and what they are. Very cinephile of me, I know, but if you think about it, she started off as an author writing about romances and ended up, because of various different things, which caused the adventure, the strife, the struggle, whatever, came out at the other end as the character in her own novel, where she had that experience instead of just writing about the experience. She had that falling in love moment. She had the I was almost killed and I managed to pull through kind of a moment. And now I'm after this adventure, and I'm like more ready to take on a different role or a different adventure
stage of my life, where basically, like, well, oddly enough, she was a caterpillar in a cocoon, and she just emerged as a beautiful butterfly.
Yes, but in order to be a caterpillar, she needs to be the ugly, unlikable character, and ended up, because of what she's going through, into a character that you want to aspire to, essentially. That's how I saw it. But
yeah, that, and also how she almost I think we're going to talk about the everything about how Eduardo basically made the map for her because she was the only one who could figure it out.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like it's really great how it's all set up. But the other thing I really wanted to mention, there is a lot of like little side stuff that's really kind of interesting. Is, the mudslide bit.
Yes.
That the stunt double for Kathleen Turner.
Yes.
Was the same stunt double for Wonder Woman.
Linda Carter. Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And that's I know. I saw that and I was like,
that's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Fun little detail. I like these fun little details, man.
And then also the ship, obviously, when she takes the dinghy out, Orca.
Yeah, Orca, because of Jaws, it's the same.
It's like, hey, Spielberg, I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
And then Michael Douglas in the climbing scene. That's because Michael Douglas was super big into rock climbing. So he wanted to have a scene of him actually doing it. It's like Tom Cruise being like, dude, I'm going to try to kill myself in every role I'm in now.
You seen the Matt Damon clip? I've seen it like a bunch of different times this week. I don't know why it came up. It's Matt Damon talking to Tom Cruise and Matt Damon asking Tom Cruise, how did you do the Abu Dhabi skyscraper stunt.
Run, yeah,
He said,
yeah.
And he said, well, I went to my stunt coordinator and he said, no, that's not possible. So I went to a different stunt. I fired that stunt coordinator.
I got another
different.
and then I fired him. And I got another guy. And then he finally said yes. So we.
And I was like, God damn, Tom Cruise is nuts. All right. You done or what?
There are more stuff, but it's more interspersed. So
okay,
shoot.
I've got few details that were fun. Okay, the romantic titles, we didn't cover that when we did the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and we should have. But in this one, her novels, The Savage Secret, which to be fair, all of them sound like a Daniel Steele novel with what's his face?
100%.
He was there in the movie last week. The model.
Fabio.
Yeah. Thank you.
But like he would like this is a novel that he would be like the cover.
He would be on the cover of. So The Savage Secret, Love's Wicked Kiss, The Revengers. I laughed my ass off when I saw The Revengers. A Passion's Lovely Lay or Lay, and Treasure of Lust. And I was like, that is so ridiculous and so correct.
Yeah.
The three main cars that were in display.
Oh yeah. Well, there's the
Renault 4.
Renault, yeah.
Which at the time was a big seller in Colombia.
I think it wasn't the most popular car in Colombia.
It was the most popular car, the most bought, and they even dubbed it like My Little Friend or My Faithful Friend because it just start and just went. Even though it's pretty shitty for like dirt roads and stuff, apparently it was pretty reliable car. The little mule was a 1982 Ford Bronco.
Oh yeah, because they even had the Bronco on the front too. Where I'm like,
and I thought it was hilarious because it was riddled with not commercials. I'm off my game today. When you hide promotional things in your movie, it was riddled with that.
Oh yeah.
I forgot how it's called. Chat, please tell me how it's called. I'm lost today. And the most beautiful car was the Shelby Cobra in red, not in the blue and white stripe version. And I was like,
it's so
God
fucking pretty.
damn, that's a great car. What the fuck is that kid doing driving that car?
Like the bolo around the neck, where I'm like. And also,
that was
after your husband just got murdered and you got one piece of him. Wouldn't you just piece the fuck out of Colombia ASAP? He's like, I'm gone. I'm gone.
I mean, this is Escobar country. This is mid '80s. You would think.
Hey,
you would think
they showed a shitload of alligators, but they did not show one fucking hippo, which makes me mad.
Hippos in Colombia? Okay.
No, because Pablo imported hippos, and it's apparently massive.
Dude, he imported tigers and lions and shit.
It's a massive fucking problem because hippos will fuck you up. Hippos are dangerous animals.
The most dangerous animals in the entire kingdom? No, just kidding. It's a different reference, a different movie. Anyway, brand placement. Thank you, Paul.
Snappers.
Thank you. Brand
Look
placement.
at those snappers.
Look at those snappers. And the one last thing, the treasure map that was essentially written down by the husband that was essentially killed.
Eduardo, yeah.
Yeah. Was actually designed by a puzzle columnist called Dr. Krypton.
Doug, yeah.
I thought it would be great if Christopher Reeve would have been in the Michael Douglas role. That would be funny if we could get Dr. Krypton to. It's all on me.
Yeah.
And one last thing, and it goes back all the way back into the start of the movie. It was actually Michael Douglas that optioned off the script for $250,000
Yep.
from Diane. Yep. That is one thing. And it's another movie, actually the first movie that he optioned a script because he wanted it to get made and eventually became the leading male role in the movie. The other one being Defense. See, fucking Falling Down.
Oh, yeah. Yo, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
And I found that really interesting. Only knew that about a couple of hours ago when I sat down to read all the different notes. Because I wrote down some stuff and I haven't read them. And then when I kind of went through the order of things, I was like, how the hell did I write this and not put a mental note Falling Down underneath?
Which we covered before. Great fucking movie.
It's a great fucking movie. You should definitely go watch it and go watch that show because we had a lot of fun. Hey, we had Drex on the show, so that's a whole other different kind of fun that we don't have any more access to, sadly. He's just not willing to do any YouTube stuff anymore.
I think one of the funniest bits is obviously before we go into our first game, have to just cover the opening bit of Joan basically narrating the story. And
let's obviously we'll do that.
Which you can't show is the nope echo.
What?
Getting echo again.
Oh, of course. Let me do this again. Okay.
But was going to say one of the first bits that you get, it's a Michael Douglas film, so that produced, and then one of the first shots you get, nipple.
Yeah, well, I guess.
It's just funny, but the how trying to describe how just horrendous the villain is. Like he killed my mother and father, and he raped my sister, and he killed my dog, and he stole my Bible.
Yeah.
It's just like,
because
it Danielle Steele.
I love the fact that I think it's Jesse, her main sort of romance.
Jesse. Yeah.
He's up on that hill and he has the Springfield single action.
Yeah.
And he's like, bam, bam, bam. All three of the brothers of the main villain got dead.
And you know what it is about evil man. They have brothers, and they come soon. It's just.
And another thing that I found really hilarious, is.
We talked about this backstage too. I still just like, was that the same actress who played the character? And you're like, yeah, it was. Well, I was surprised.
Because when you see the actress, and then it kind of zooms into her breasts, it kind of feels like, oh, they put a buddy double in there. But no, it's the same chick. It's the same chick throughout, because when she rides on the horse, she doesn't look the same as well. So it seems like there's two different actresses plus a body double.
Yeah.
The only important thing
about that is, again, it's great setup and payoff, especially for Joan, because this is kind of Joan's kind of hero story in a way, because how she does the slip of the knife and throw to kill the villain in the story, it happens later. So it's like,
nice it's
touch.
Kind of a thing. This is where I laughed hard. So they're both coming in with the horses, and then they stop, drop from the horses, and run towards each other on foot.
Yeah.
Why? And then it doesn't zoom in. It just goes straight into them hugging and kissing. And it's like, then what? Why didn't they drop like close to each other? I didn't understand, and I laughed.
You do realize you're in the desert. You're probably very dehydrated. Why wouldn't you just get
get closer, drop, and kiss? I just found that interesting. And then, of course, and this is why I wanted to, before we do the game, I wanted to mention this. Out of all the different films that we covered, this one is unique and it's not only unique in terms of when it was made, all that stuff. that's beside the point, but not totally beside the point. This is the first movie I remember, and you guys in the chat can tell me otherwise, where it is an author that is telling a story, and then they become the protagonist in their own adventure. And having sort of the same kind of adventure that they write about, but they never actually had.
It's not the first, but they have ripped it off since.
Yes.
Most notably in Argyle.
Argyle is the closest one, but there are some others where it's like a male author. Sometimes it is sort of a romance novelist. I don't remember the name of the movie. Sort of a romance novelist, but then she has sort of a murder mystery. I don't remember what it was. Please, chat, tell me. But the closest in sort of one by one is Argyle, and Argyle is horrendous. I couldn't. I just couldn't.
To be fair, you could also kind of say Murder, She Wrote, the entire series was this.
Yeah, but I'm talking specifically like a romance adventure novelist kind of a thing. Yeah. And The Lost City? Yeah, but The Lost City is 87. And I'm not sure it's an author that I have to rewatch that movie. But yeah. Okay, cool. If you mentioned The Lost City, what's interesting is there was you can tell me too, Feelings. There was a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon strip of just adventure movies with Indiana Jones.
Yes,
these ones, the Quatermain ones with Sharon Stone and Richard Chamberlain, that also had like two movies. One was like Solomon Mines, and the other one is something else.
Well, also with that, and then also mid '80s stuff like Conan got a big influx with this. That's why they actually made Conan the Destroyer, was because of Saturday afternoon films. And also like Beastmaster was another one of those films that was just kind of just
The Lost City too.
Yeah, stuff that was just like, well, we're gonna throw this on TV on a Saturday afternoon, and kids are gonna watch it basically.
Yeah. All right. Now it's time for our first game of the night. It is called Missing Marquee. Missing Marquee is where we take 10 posters of movies, have their text written off, we display them, and our chat, and of course, all my feelings, will have to guess which movie this is. Ba-bam.
Got it.
Yeah, I know. I know you got it. Chat, what is this Kurt Russell-led movie? I know that Paul knows it, but we've got a few people. We've got One Punch Man. We've got Sandra Hammerschlag. We've got Monkey Jeebus in there. We've got some Juliet. Juliet has been clutch for a while. I've got some nuggets.
Sick man's got nuggies. Backtrack.
She actually made them like McDonald's does, where she grinds up the meat first, which is, to be fair, not the best for you, but it's good. This one I've seen in the theater.
Yeah.
It was sold as one thing, and it gave something else.
And it also was one of the major plots of Not Another Teen Movie. And Paul's got it.
Mm-hmm. A little late because probably lag. Got no Bulls games on Rumble. It is Cruel Intentions, of course, ladies and gentlemen. It was sold as the first, I'm telling you right now, as the first nudity movie of Sarah Michelle Gellar, which was hot commodity at the time.
Off of Buffy, yeah. Oh, I don't remember the name of this movie, but I know exactly. It's about it's Vince Vaughn. He donates his sperm, and he has like 300 kids.
504. Don't
remember the name of the movie, though.
All right.
So
I think a lot of people won't remember. I do remember the name of the movie. I think in the Hebrew translation, it's called 504.
Oh, okay. It's actually not a bad comedy for
not.
latter day Vince Vaughn.
It's really not. It's really smart, well written, and it has a kind of a surprising way to end. I would say Delivery Man is the name of the movie. This one is tough. You want to say one movie, but it's actually a different movie.
I know. It's good. It's a good one too.
Sander Hammerschlag has a different titles for Delivery Man. It is not Creepers. Has creep in the name. It is not Creep Show. Save yourselves. I know it's a bit of a delay. I know it's not Creep Show. I think last time it came up, we had to divulge what it was because you didn't know what it was, and you were on top of your game. No go. This is Night of the Creep.
Yeah,
I just love the poster. That's why it's still here.
Ew,
I love you, Sandler. Sander Hammerschlag is
creepy crawlers.
Yeah.
That's a very U.S. thing, and if you know it, you're my friend.
We had it. My brother had it. Red Sparrow is correct.
That movie makes me very uncomfortable.
Just the one scene, though.
You
know what's crazy about Red Sparrow?
Actually, that scene doesn't make me as uncomfortable as Serpico, but the movie with her and Chris Pratt, where basically it was
different reason.
Yeah. By the way, I kind of liked you, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just bring you back to life, so you can die here.
Spoiler: Golden Child is correct.
Yeah. This is, I think, one of the most hated Tarantino films for a very, very bad reason.
It's not my favorite, but it's not bad.
I think it still has one of the best monologues of all of Tarantino's work. Yeah, it's a hateful eight, but yeah.
And by the way, no Bulls games. Please, I apologize. I cannot control how low of a lag or latency you have between us, the broadcast, and how Rumble puts out their video. Terribly sorry. On YouTube, I lower it as much as humanly possible, and I even sacrifice a little bit of resolution in order to make sure we can get as fast as humanly possible so we can interact with each other. I love this movie. Everybody hates this movie.
I do too, but damn, Sharon Stone's looking good in that poster.
Sharon Stone has a very nice, cool. And this is after Sliver too.
Yeah,
which was terrible.
You could just look at him and be like, "I know you're a bitch, and I know you're gonna ruin my life, but I'll try."
It's a very Miami movie. Has a very Miami soundtrack with what's her face, Gloria Estefan.
Yep.
And
also that was when she was with the Miami Connection as well.
Yep. And when she actually remade the song for this movie, made it a bit more upbeat and more poppy, and it works better. No one knows. This is The Specialist.
Yep.
Movie I love, and I can't really show it to my kids. Well, not yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. Oh, your boy's gonna love that one though.
I want to get back to Red Sparrow after we finish this, because I want to finish this. This is the original Michael Bay one.
Yeah, it's just
Transformers.
Yeah.
It is called Transformers. I have a few of these.
That was the only one with I just forgot her name.
Megan Fox. Yeah, the only one with Megan.
I was gonna say Toe Thumbs, but
whatever, it's the same.
She gives you two big ones up.
She never did it for me. I never understood why she does. Like, I understand she's got a pretty face and she's got like rocking tits, but she never did it for me.
You went from 0 to 100 real quick right there, but
I'm just referencing last week's show.
Oh yeah. Now whenever I hear that, all I can think of is the South Park episode where they made fun of heavy metal, and my daughter is awesome boobage.
Yeah, it's just a reference to last week's show, but never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow. The funny bit about Red Sparrow is up until Red Sparrow, I think she's never done a full nude scene like this.
Correct.
And Red Sparrow came in after like a year after or year and a half after the famous leaks of her chest, of her phone pictures.
The fappening?
The fappening, yeah. I didn't know if you're up to, like, I don't know how much porn do you consume?
It was impossible to ignore if you had been on Reddit at the time. It's just like, yeah, by the way, here's everything.
By the way, look at these babies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it's sort
also,
of a weird thing.
Doxing people, not cool.
The important part is, the pigeons are out. Let's just do a movie where let's have a not grainy picture of me out there. Kind of okay, I guess.
Well, if they're gonna see it, might as well have it in HD, right, boys?
Not gonna lie. Have you seen No Hard Feelings?
Yes.
Not a bad movie.
No, it's actually really, really fucking funny. It's really funny.
It's not an 8. It's a 6.5, 7. It's fine, but it's a reverse romantic comedy.
It's a comedy, yeah.
And her nudity is not sexy at all, at all.
That's supposed to be the point of it, though. Like, it's gratuitous, and it's supposed to be like, she's a fucking degenerate, and it's like you're not supposed to idolize or worship her as.
Dude, she Kurt Angles a guy.
Yeah, she does.
I mean. That's not really sexy.
The movie's really fucking funny, though.
The movie is funny, yeah. All right. Movies,
we gotta go.
Yeah, I know. Hey, we're all about the movie. We're gonna skip the first part because I thought this is an hour 45 movie. The first half hour, dude, it is a slog.
It's a bit of a slog. The only thing that's interesting about it is just the fact that obviously important things like she gets the letter from Eduardo, and also just the setup of her character being this kind of almost shut-in a way.
Yeah, where her elderly neighbor is like, I was just trying to get you out of the house.
I'm just trying to help you, pumpkin. Which is adorable, by the way. It is, even though it would be annoying as fuck. Eventually, it would still be adorable. And we have the whole bit where Zolo shows up at her apartment.
Okay, the Zolo part. This is where this part of the movie either was not edited correctly. Because this movie had a lot of edits because it was very long.
Well, it also
super edited away.
It also cut out over 25 minutes of film.
Yeah, and I'll get to the Zola part in a bit. One of the things that was changed is the editor was a guy, and then it was changed to being a girl. They reshot this 5 months after the fact.
To be fair, I love it was Holland Taylor as Gloria.
I love this actress.
My God, she is such a snarky bitch, and I love every single second because she is just chewing scenery.
She fit this role good.
It's perfect casting.
Mm-hmm. And where I have to do this. The Zolo part. So his entire arc is really strange because he comes off as a spy, secret agent, a thief. First,
he's supposed to be working.
The superintendent.
Yeah,
and he's a cop.
A dude, but he's not a cop. He's not a cop though, because even Ralph says, he is the owner of his private army. He's a doctor. He's this. He's that. He's whatever he needs to be in a day. And also, if he had this much fucking intel, why wouldn't he just send other people up there to do the job for him?
Because he's in a foreign country. I don't know. All of his arc just doesn't seem to fit.
It doesn't make any sense. He goes out like a bitch.
Yeah, he goes out like a bitch. So the whole point is, Joan comes back home after the lunch. She sees everything turned around. She already got the letter from Eduardo, and the phone call from I want to say
Ira,
which, to be fair, he doesn't look like an Ira. I'm sorry.
No, he does it. Like, and also, to be fair, the most honest of all the con men, because at the end he gets the map and goes, "Okay, you can go."
Yeah. Okay, let him go.
Yeah, we're good.
I mean, he didn't even ask if they went to get the treasure.
Sure. Or if they made a copy, because they make Xerox jokes several times, which is it's so chef's kiss, because at the time in the mid 80s, Xerox copy machines were noted to break down all the fucking time. All the time. And when they went to Wands, the bell makers, like, yeah, we have one, but it's broken.
But it's broken. And I was like, this is going to be as soon as, because I have not seen this movie in a long while. I think the last time I've seen it was actually when my wife was my girlfriend and she had a video recording of it, and we watched it at her folks' place. I'm dead certain that's the last time I've watched it. And I didn't remember that whole bit with the Xerox thing. Like I said, I completely forgot it was El Guapo. That was the guy.
Yeah. Alfonso Aru, with, like, again, when I did a rewatch the first time doing a rewatch this week, I'm like, holy fuck, that's El Guapo. like, wait, I've seen him in like 60 episodes of Bonanza.
and he kind of acts like El Guapo until they walk into the house, and then he becomes this Latin lover of sorts, I would say.
Like the Latin biggest fucking super fan, and then him doing the whole, like, we're gonna hop all over the place during this.
Yeah, we're hopping backwards and forwards, and I'm gonna just display a few of the scenes.
We had the thing where she gets on the wrong bus because it was Zolo behind him. Yeah, this is the Cartagena. So yeah, get on the bus, and they run into Jack's Jeep, and so I just the whole bit where he's driving around in the mule, it'd be like being a tour guide the entire time. And like, that's when my mother was born, and that's my brother. He planted that tree.
And after they ditch the Zolo's army, or the mercenaries, whatever you want to call them, they're looking at this village down below. And Jack is like, why don't we just go to the village? And he's like, no, I'm wanted there. I can't go.
I can't. It was just like, I can't take you to Cartagena because I'm wanted there.
Yeah. I just can't go. And then, of course, Jack comes in and he has a full-on firefight with Zolo.
To be fair, he shot his fucking water canteen. The person was like, aw.
Yeah. I was like, damn, it took me a while to get this. God damn it.
And also, this was literally for the birds.
Yeah,
because he had the birds on it. Turn of phrase.
I love it when, like I said, the Renault 4 is such a little small, dingy car.
In fact, I think Top Gear, in one of their it was one of their first early episodes. We're like Clarkson era and Richard Hammond era Top Gear, way back in the day, did a review about the Renault 4 as like
before Captain Slow was introduced, right? I think I remember that episode.
Like, it was like real long time ago. Yeah.
Now I know seems like a super insignificant kind of thing. But when they actually go into the river, the bottom of that car is actually flat. And it would have maybe floated because it was not heavy at all.
Oh, no. That was,
but it's still a bit unbelievable that they actually did that.
Well, actually, a Renault 4 was notably a car that you and 4 of your mates could pick up.
Technically, it wasn't a heavy. No, it was definitely not a heavy car. It didn't handle quite well, but it was the thing about the car. And we kind of mentioned it at the start. The thing about the car was it was reliable. It would start immediately. And another thing, it was cheap to make, cheap to produce, cheap to ship because it wasn't heavy. And it was all over Colombia for some reason. No explanation why specifically Colombia. Maybe it's just the entire like North South America bit, but I have no answer for that. I just know it was kind of strange because you could do a lot of cool stunts with it that you wouldn't believe in a car.
Yeah.
But they did it.
No, mostly due to the fucking weight. Yeah. Well, that we get to the scene where when she drives into the river and she's still steering. It's like, what are you doing? You can't drive.
You can't drive it. It's just let the river take us wherever we go.
It's great. It's
when
funny.
they do when they fall through the waterfall, I saw the 2 stunt guys. That was a dangerous stunt.
Yes, that was because again, the Renault 4, very, very light car, but still, it's like, yeah, you're half a foot off. It's gonna break a lot of bones, if not kill you. Yeah,
and I'm guessing 650 kilos.
Yeah,
that's heavy.
I'm
not sure that's correct.
That's less than half a. Well, it's
more than half a ton.
But it's still it's very, very. It's not as light as the
50. Are you sure?
It's not as heavy as the Robin. The Robin was one of the cars.
No, the Robin is like paperweight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean the weight of paper, not paperweight. So the mudslide bit, we kind of discussed the fact that it was her entire like stunt double for the entire thing, except for in the car, because there's a moment in the car in one of the stunts, not in the probably including the waterfall. You could definitely tell it's a man with a curly wig.
Yeah. that also you have to love the version of going right in between the legs as well. It's like,
yeah.
And hey, Becky, this is very interesting. This is actually before Mr. Jones.
Technically, the original screenplay was written in 79.
79. So it was written before Indiana Jones. So
yeah, and to be fair, it looks like Indiana Jones and it feels like it because it's a treasure hunt movie and a guy with a fedora hat. It's set in a different time. He's not really he's not really smart.
He's not an archaeologist.
Yeah, he's not an archaeologist. She's not an archaeologist. So there are some differences.
Indiana Jones, for being an archaeologist, he's really fucking bad at his job because he does not preserve history very well.
Oh no,
sir. He does not.
So we talked about this when they kind of stumble onto the bridge, and she's like, "Why don't we take this bridge?" And he's like, "That's not a bridge." And I was like,
"Pre-Columbian art." I'm like,
"Kudos, my man."
Waitress wrote this in 1979. Yes, deserved every single cent she got.
And when I can't eat on stream, but thank you. I love you.
Hi, Mrs. Meff. Bye, Mrs. Meff.
A rare appearance by Mrs. Meff. Can I divulge a secret? Now it will be preserved for all time on YouTube until the end of when the asteroid hits us.
Secret. Huh.
A secret. She didn't do shit today until I sat down to do this podcast.
I'm
However,
messaging her on WhatsApp.
however, she did take good care of me while I was sick.
Okay.
And do other things. So I because I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit better today.
What other things are so?
Work. What the fuck are you thinking about? I'm sick. Damn it,
dude. Well, yeah, but I have a sick mind.
So the Tarzan moment, I love the Tarzan moment where she goes out first and she kind of succeeds, and he's like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So he goes out and he gets stuck inside the wall. But he's like, I'm gonna show you my rock climbing skills, though I'm being shot at from the other side, Temple of Doom style.
Which is so great because Michael Douglas was super into rock climbing, so he had to make sure that several scenes actually had him utilize his rock climbing. It's like, buddy.
and now we get to me, a funny setup and payoff, which is not like a big payoff, like a small little payoff. When she's in her apartment, she's writing down, she finished her story, the big kind of prologue ends, she goes to her mirror, whatever, and she has small little bottles where it used to be prevalent that you used to get
airplane
these.
bottles, which also, like, baby girl, if you can't open a tiny little bottle of, yes, I know exactly what it was Grand Marnier. Like, if you can't open
whatever it was
Grand Marnier, by the way. I recognize the bottle.
Okay, fine. You fucking lush. So he comes in, bloody nose and everything, and he's like, I'm getting shot at, and you're sitting around here drinking? And it's a quick little setup and payoffs from her apartment to out in the Colombian jungle.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. A little cough, a little dry, a little.
And then we get right there as they go through, and then they have the kind of change in dichotomy where it's the first inklings of Jack's like, maybe I'm kind of into her a little bit.
Yeah.
Gets the machete and starts hacking away, and then
we get to the ganja plane, we'll call it.
The airplane, which oddly, this was a massive bit, like almost 15 minutes of film was cut specifically around this. Because there's a whole story around the flight and how Jack actually knew them. It was a whole bit.
Yeah, it's supposedly he actually knows the pilot for some reason because he looks at the jacket and he recognized the Grateful Dead
shirt.
And I was like, oh my God, all my feelings is like, he's going to definitely say something about that.
Yep.
It's like, oh, he's probably has like a couple of notes just on this. But yeah, it's a whole convoluted story, but it just took too long to tell. And the whole point is, go ahead.
Well, and also you could tell this is written in 1979 because if it's written in 1982, it would not be a plane of marijuana coming out of Colombia, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because he held up a brick, and I was like, oh, I don't remember having cocaine in this movie. And he's like, oh, this is
apparently it does snow in the jungle.
Yeah. And he's like, this is, and she's like, this is marijuana. And he's like, are you shocked? Like, no, I've gone to college.
She said that line. It was the same thing like that Bill Clinton said in his 1992. It was like,
I didn't inhale.
I went to college.
It's sort of like somebody saying,
Bill Clinton said Bill Clinton did have the line like, I did not inhale.
Yeah.
Bill, you lying motherfucker. You play fucking saxophone as a hobby. You are high as fuck.
Yeah. Any man who knew how to do the blues and a saxophone must have puff puff give. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah.
Come on. Don't sell us that old Arkansas Southern gentleman kind of thing. We know, motherfucker.
Oh, shucks. Shiki ding dong.
Anyway, what I was going to say was, to me, it's sort of like that person that tangentially knows about pot. And it's like, yeah, I've listened to Cheech and Chong before. What? It's to me on the same level as, yeah, I've been to college before.
So
Now, nowadays, yeah.
Well, it's almost kind of reminds it like in the oddest
You made
way.
Becky laugh, dude.
It reminds me so much of kind of Dr. Evil. Scott, look at me.
Yeah.
I'm hip. I'm cool.
No, another small
or
little.
Steve Buscemi's character in
hello, fellow children. Yeah,
fellow teenagers.
So I was, again, a little bit of laughing, not really a setup and payoff, but it does continue the whole her being a secret lush. Is they found a jar of olives, definitely martini-sized olives.
Oh, they are martini fucking olive. They are.
Yeah. And then
she's just munching on him. And also he starts a fire with a brick of fucking weed.
Yeah.
They are stoned out the fucking gills.
Yeah, they are more stoned than Joey Diaz. Anyway,
and that's saying a lot.
And that's saying a lot.
I do believe that Joey Coco Diaz could actually just like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna eat 40 milligram gummies for breakfast, and then I'm gonna have them for lunch, and then I'm gonna have an afternoon snack, which is more gummies, and then I'm gonna have them for dinner, and then I'm gonna still whatever you cocksuckers.
Exactly. Now this is technically the turning point of the movie where this is the people who don't know each other and they kind of at odds. Really start their romance bit, which is in today it's pretty predictable. Back in the day, maybe not so predictable. I don't know. It kind of seems like they're kind of set up to be frenemies and then friends and then a little bit more than that. But it's done in such a really good way, and I'm really happy that they cut this scene down to the bare essentials where he discovers about the map. She doesn't know anything about this map. And he realizes that this is a treasure map.
The Corazon, yeah.
Because he says it's the Corazon. And he mentions the fact that, wait a minute, why don't we not give them the map? Why don't we head out and get this treasure? And then we'll have leverage to free your sister. Because the whole point of her being in Colombia, not Brazil, in Colombia is to get this map to the guy, the Ira dude, and free her sister.
And also, at this time, we did not know Ira was actually respectable and would actually just, follow through with the fact, like, I'm going to let you guys go because I got the map. I'm good. You have to assume that, by the way, you're going to give him the map and then he's just going to shoot you in the face.
And to end the scene, we have, again, another sort of half reference to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which is the snake, or him able to save her from the snake, even though on Temple of Doom, it's kind of the other way around, but not really. But
but it's still so funny. It was like, well, see, this is what I'm talking about. You're looking at me, but you're looking right through me. You're not even looking at me directly. And he throws the knife.
No real snakes were harmed in the making of the movie, apparently.
No.
It was very important for them to say that for some reason. But it is what it is.
This was the very beginning of the big push for
PETA?
No, pre-PETA stuff.
Oh.
Like, that's a
to not harm animals.
Very, very, very long story on that. But
we'll put that aside for now. Yeah. So the fact of the matter that, and this is really, I thought it was very smart for them to do, is apparently everyone, including the men, especially the men, end up reading Joan's book,
which is fantastic because it was her publisher back there who told her, like, by the way, you're loved down there. They love you in South America.
Yeah, they love you in South America. And come to find out that she gets to this village where he knows what's up, and she kind of not know what's really up.
I was going to say, just as a small aside, they do have the big old setup and payoff of not only Jack seeing the map and trying to figure out the Devil's Fork and all that stuff, but also him telling her about his dream and the yacht. Because that's a big
that's a big one. Yeah, it's a big one. It's a very subtle, but once he mentions that he wants to retire and be on the boat, I was like, oh, okay, this is a setup to the end. I know the ending, so it kind of feels like I know this. But even if I didn't, it's sort of kind of I don't know, kind of telegraphing in a way what's going to be at the end. Yep. Which is the boat.
Paul, it was that, and also the ASPCA.
ASPCA. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I was gonna say other fun bits too as they go into the town too. You have Ralph even waking up with a copy of one of Joan's books.
That's exactly what I was saying, because the scene in the morning before they go into the village is him waking up with a book of hers, because he had the book to have the picture from the back where they used to have pictures on the back. I don't know if they do that today.
They don't. They actually have them on the inside cover now.
Okay. Yep. So he had the book, but he was so bored. He was so bored because he was, in the car with Zolo when Zolo was trying to get away, and then he went into the police station, and then they kind of cut him loose because he didn't have the map, essentially. Even though he had like this wanted poster there.
He's grabbing it like, hey, Ma, I'm going to fucking kill you, cousin.
I love that interaction between him and Ira, because it's sort of like he is the comic relief in this entire movie. And it shows up in various places, but normally as a sort of an actual comic relief from the adventure story. Because we see him talking to his brother, cousin, whatever you want to call it.
Cousin.
Yeah, cousin. So yeah, we mentioned El Guapo.
El Guapo.
He's like, he opens up the thing and the gun comes out for him.
Hit the road via Con Dios. It's like, well, now what do you want to do, Joan?
Yeah.
What is it, Joan Wilder? Like, Joan Wilder? Wait, you're Joan Wilder?
And when they get in, it's sort of like it's a different world.
It's a palatial estate where the entire time it's like, oh, it kind of reminds me of the estate in Three Amigos.
Just a little bit more rainy and a little bit more lush, but yeah, kind of. But it's I think it's sort of it's a hacienda, so it's normally has an outside courtyard. So it's a square building, and the rooms are all around, and you have a center courtyard. It's actually not necessarily Spanish idea, but generally in when you build in brick and mortar or brick and clay in hot climates like the Arabian Peninsula and north of Africa, all that stuff. They all have that inner courtyard.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Also, he was like, and we have Spanish titles.
Yeah.
And I was like, would you like a drink? We have Killians. I'm like, how the fuck did you Killians? What? Huh?
He knows she drinks Southern Comfort because she mentioned it in her books.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not only like pretending he read the books.
Oh no, he's a fan.
He's a fan. And not only that, he's like, "Oh, you can get this," and he gives a copy to Jack, and he's like, "It's okay, I've got multiple copies.
I have many copies."
Yeah.
Well, then even when he says Juanita Wilder, and to all the other village in the back, like, oh, you see Juanita Wilder?
Yeah.
Everyone's just like gaga immediately. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, I don't have a telephone. Do you have a Xerox? It's broken.
It's broken. And of course, once Zolo's army rolls into town,
And Zolo, just to have to be an asshole,
does
the one thing you don't do in Hispanic culture is disrespect a grandma.
And grandmama. That's a bad move, dude. Sorry about that. I had to clear my throat.
Wait. A car?
The setup for the car. I don't have a car. I have a little mule, and he rolls out with this Ford Bronco.
that is just kitted the fuck out. Then he goes, "Oh, hold on, I can't hurt my favorite pig."
That whole scene, I was dying laughing.
It's fantastic.
Son was right there in the other PC that we have in this room, and he looked at me so funny, and I was like, this shit is hilarious. You will never get it. You'll never get into this movie. I want him to, but he'll never get into this movie.
I think he will in time. It's more of a film that was definitely something of its era, which we'll discuss about in the final notes.
Yeah.
But it's something that comedy transcends time, and it's something that you can pick up eventually.
I'll show it to him at some point. We're on a roll on 80s stuff. We'll just call it that. I love the fact. I love it where he literally, like James Bond, has a remote control.
Yeah.
Remote control for the retractable. It's not just a bridge. It's also like an anti-car fucking blocker, because it becomes a ramp, and then it turns to the side to be like a street block.
Yeah,
like a street block.
The only thing would have been better is behind him, like, oh yeah, by the way, we I have road strips behind, like spike strips just roll out.
And what I was thinking,
when it gets shot and the gasoline, they're like, don't worry, little mule is fireproof.
Yeah.
All right, bud.
And all I was thinking is, man, Alan Silvestri should definitely pay the guy who did the A-Team music and have it on this chase, because it felt like an A-Team. Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
that would have been great. So they get to a point, like on this hilltop, everybody's free. She's picking out flowers. El Guapo, sorry, not El Guapo. He's there, kind of talking to them.
Juan, the bell maker.
Juan,
and he goes, well, I can't go in there, otherwise they'd hang me up on the devil's fork.
On the devil's fork, and he's like, "What devil's fork?" And she didn't actually look at the map except for the fold. Did it came later that she folded?
No,
heart?
She looks at the fold later because she hears the waterfall, and she hears the fold, and like, oh, the waterfall.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which is why I think Eduardo made the map for her based on her book, so she would be the one who could find it.
Yeah. And he's like looking at the devil with the fork, and he's looking behind him. It's like, and this is the point where he kind of suggested it to her more emphatically, because when he did it the first time, she literally collapsed.
We should leave now. We should go get to the town, call your sister, because he's thinking in his mind, well, I'm just gonna, once he gets to the hotel there,
Xerox the thing.
Xerox. So like, what? Oh God, he's being. Thank you. You have a Xerox machine? Yes, we do have one in the back. Like, can it make a copy of a map? And you're thinking, like, Jack is gonna be that scumbag. That's what you're thinking. And
exactly. And they have that moment where he's like, okay, go up and go clean yourself off. I'm gonna like make preparations, go find us some dinner and all that stuff. Don't worry. This is after she actually pays him the $350 that they argued about.
$375. And also, remember, it was American Express. Product placement.
Yes, I know. Traveler's checks. And then, of course, they have this dinner after she washes up, and they also dance. Now, you probably have notes for the dance. Do you not?
Some, but shoot.
Okay. So this dance, not this particular part, the part where they're technically slow dancing before the music kind of picks up, was filmed and wasn't supposed to be filmed. They were supposed to do just the salsa bit where it's a little bit more upbeat, but they did a slow dance with, the extras and all that stuff, and Robert Zemeckis filmed it. They put it in the movie.
Yep.
Without Michael Douglas's knowing and without Kathleen Turner knowing.
Yep.
How did they do that whole dialogue and kept it within the confines of the movie? I don't know.
It's full improv.
Full improv. Okay. But it really fit with the story. So kudos on them, I guess.
Imagine the story without that beat there, because it shows their budding romance to like really starting to build and blossom. Where it's like without that scene, it would seem very cut and dry. Where again, where to cut there to them.
Yeah, naked
sex.
Yeah, naked.
But then
I can show it. It's safe.
Well, yeah, it's fine.
I mean,
but
she
also
doesn't have much. She doesn't have much to show, but it is what it is.
I would say was the one thing that always got me about that scene, because thank you for again making me rewatch this film, because for the longest time I thought he still stole the map.
Yeah, that moment.
He took the map back out and put it back in her
at
purse.
The very end of that scene. He kind of has that retraction of, I still want to do this, but I'm gonna put this map back.
It's his turn where he's now committed to this endeavor,
Yeah.
But no, for the longest time, I'm like, wow, he was still a scumbag, and he's still trying to steal the map. 'Cause I completely misremembered it for the longest time.
Yeah. So what they end up doing is actually stealing the Renault from Danny DeVito's character.
From Ralph, yeah.
From Ralph. And that moment where they go into the car, it's like, I'm going to hotwire this thing. It's like, why don't you just use the key?
Subtle humor in this movie is very, very, very underrated, because there are some lines that are just fucking funny as shit. Especially like the one bit we kind of glossed over, where Juan is driving them toward which is like, so we're going toward the place without the bridge?
Yes.
The river without the bridge. The river without the bridge.
Yeah, and he emphasized it, and Juan is like unfazed, but then he pulls up the fucking remote. So
I have it.
Yeah.
Great.
You know what? It's about 20 minutes to the end of the movie, and to be fair, up until the moment where they start to look for the jewel or the stone, because the jewel comes later.
Well, no.
Up until the moment where they start to get to the stone, we're at an hour 20 minutes, and there's 23 minutes to the end of the movie, because the credits are really short. They're like a minute and a half. I checked.
Well, no, I thought it was 5.
No, it's It's 1:45:46.
Oh,
runtime.
You have a different cut than I do. That's why you have that's why you have the titles in it. We talked about the titles before. You have it more of an extended cut than I had. So
anyway, so really short credits, and the last 20 minutes are go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a pause right here, and we'll play our second game of the night. It is Screen Fighter.
Round 1, fight.
Screen Fighter is where we take 10 posters of movies. Screen Fighter is where we take 2 movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. If there's no discernible difference between the two, both of them are good or both of them are bad, we fall into our criteria, which is Saturday evening, Friday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with your significant other. 2 movies in a vacuum. Which one will we pop in? Chat participation is most welcome. Just give us your choice and we will give you the reason. Jason X, Jason in Space, or Sin City?
First and foremost, I can tell you're sick, buddy, because it's the first time you've ever messed up Screen Fighter. Ever.
I know. Whatever.
We're gonna talk about.
I messed it up when you were. I messed it up when you were not here.
Well, hey, not in my canon universe. Thank you very much. I was gonna say we're gonna talk about this very, very soon. We have a month coming up. It's gonna feature. It has to be Sin City. There are, even though Jason X has one of, if not two of my favorite horror movie kills of all time, because one is absolutely hilarious and one is just like, wow, that's inventive. But
Yes.
Sin City it's Sin City.
It's easy. Sin City. I'm not a fan of Jason X at all, even though Lexa Doig is in it, and I love Lexa Doig.
Yeah.
Her face.
She's great.
Put the body away, put the acting skills away. I love her face. Even an older version of her, she is still a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Plus, Sin City is a much more thought out, well written, great adaptation.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it once we
talk
get
about
to
that. Yeah.
Shrek Forever After and The Fugitive.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
I don't care. It's easy. Oh, cool. Les Miserables or Commando?
If I wanted to be miserable, I'd pick the left. It's Commando. Come on, man.
Too easy for me. I mean,
No, come on.
I mean,
we're doing fucking lightning rounds here.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Even though I
know.
cry every time Logan.
Logan is much better than the Eric Bana fucking Hulk. It's better than any Hulk.
It was the
never mind.
Ang Lee Hulk. Yeah.
Ang Lee Hulk. All right. Mr. Holland's Opus with Richard Dreyfuss, which is a fucking ripoff of Dead Poet Society, but not really.
Yes.
And History of the World Part 1. Which one, my dude?
I think History of the World Part 1 is one of Mel Brooks' worst films. I really do. That's unfortunate.
Are you going with Mr. Holland's Opus?
No, I would still watch it over Mr. Holland's Opus any day of the week.
I don't particularly enjoy History of the World Part 1, even though it has moments in it that I really like this 10 commandments. It's in the fucking opening of the show because it's such an iconic moment for me personally because I love the movie 10 Commandments. But yeah, it also has one of my favorite scenes where it's the first painter was born, thus was born the first critic, and he pees all over it.
It's like,
so it has moments, but the entire movie has a lot of downtime. I'll still watch it. The Neighbor or Shrek 2?
have you seen The Neighbor?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
I don't think you have.
I don't think so. Okay, here we go.
Oh.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a movie that we covered and I don't particularly like, and the second Shrek.
Man, I wasn't here for that, and I really wanted to be because I really actually liked that interpretation of the media because I really, really liked that one. And I don't like Zooey Deschanel, but oh my God, Sam Rockwell was so good as Bill Box. He was so fun.
You know what? After doing the thing and doing the research, I give it a much more of a leeway than when I originally watched it, just because Douglas Adams specifically said every time we adapt Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it has to be different from the previous version. So the radio version is different from the original TV version, which is different from the book version, which is different from this version. So he specifically said that he allowed changes to be made because of different mediums. So I'll give it a much more of a pass. But I would still watch Shrek 2.
Also, to be fair, I actually really enjoyed Mos Def in The Hitchhiker's Guide.
Okay.
I thought he was really good in it, in a comedic role.
Chat says Hitchhiker's Guide,
Hey,
so they're with you.
Thanks for all the fish.
Thanks for all the fish. Saving Private Ryan Into Great Silence.
I can definitely guarantee you have not seen Into That.
I've not seen it. I have not seen it.
No.
Okay. That's easy. Sorry.
The only thing that's sad about it is another film where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to see some nudity was Wild Things. Like,
and you barely saw any nudity, but never mind. Chat is like Wild Things.
Oh, this is so it. Come on, it's Lock, Stock.
I've seen Lock, Stock today.
Lock, Stock is
today,
so fucking good.
5 hours ago. The Sentinel, or Austin Powers' Gold Member,
Mr. Douglas.
Yes,
hi, buddy.
They're both not good.
Both not good, but
both
the Sentinel
not good.
Was at least rewatchable. Goldmember was probably one of the worst things I have ever seen. That movie was terrible.
That movie was a vehicle for trying to get Beyonce
yep.
to be a movie star, and they
work.
kind of knew it wouldn't work.
Yep.
It's not. I sincerely watched Austin
Sander,
Powers
that
and
movie is
Goldmember.
Really bad.
The ones. Okay. 16. Speaking of Mr. Epps, 16 Blocks and The Sword in the Stone.
Okay. This is.
These are two super completely different movies.
Yeah, and I gotta go full nostalgia.
Ooh.
I think 60 Blocks is actually a fun movie, but Sword in the Stone is a classic. It is. It's one of those Walt Disney movies that you can look back and watch and be like, oh wow, so it wasn't just outrageous nonsense, racist.
Oh, stop it with the racist shit. Song of the South is not that racist. I've seen it. It's not.
I was talking about other things that he did that was not song.
Oh, well, Walt Disney Disney was a creature of its time. It's like Jack Warner. Jack Warner was even worse than fucking Disney, but
well, Jack Warner didn't also give money to the Nazi party.
That is, you know my dislike of the Disney company. I don't think Walt Disney actually gave money to Nazis. Coming from me, if he did,
he did. He did. Yeah. He was not a very good person. He had a lot of good people working for him, though.
Okay, we'll put that aside, and we'll end it by this comment. I'm really, really, really trying my absolute best to separate the art from the artists, especially their politics, because I feel like I want to enjoy the art itself. And if there's subliminal messaging in it, that taints it. If it's messaging that later on becomes prevalent in interviews or whatever, that's a different thing. It really allows me to go back, even into the recent past, and enjoy the movie for what it was. Now, will I enjoy The Last Jedi? Fuck no.
Oh man,
other things.
That was gonna be another one of my sequels.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
I gotta make a joke here because you're getting too serious.
I know. I really am trying to enjoy stuff for what there were as an art form.
Yes. Yeah.
And just stick to the art and not go all the way through. Trust me, I'm enjoying myself much more. I wanted to vote for 16 Blocks. I'm voting for Sword in the Stone.
Fair enough.
That was all the way a roundabout way of telling you it's Sword in the Stone. Cool. Next one was pretty easy too. It's Baby Driver and Midnight Cowboy.
Oh, Midnight Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy. Easy.
Even though Baby Driver is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's a fun movie. But it's not.
But also, hey,
impactful.
I'm walking here.
Yeah. I'm walking here.
That how that was completely improv too, where it's like he nearly got hit by a cab. Like,
So, back to the story. I want to do this and that. Back to the story. They're out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, oh, what do you hear? Oh, it's a waterfall, and then they do the fold with the map. She does the fold in the map, and it's like, oh, this is where it is. I'm getting to the video clip in rapid pace, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. It's great. It's great.
It's great. It's great. And if you guys have not seen the movie recently, those of you who have seen the movie, you probably don't remember a bit part. I'm getting to it. Give me a leeway here. It's fun. So they get into
the sudden payoff of someone's career.
Yeah. So
but the bit where they get to the puddle and
the mother's milk.
Like, yeah, well,
was a bit off for me, but it's too.
But no, it's supposed to say like, the sediment in the because it looks like milk. So
it's a puddle of mud, but it's with the light coming shining through it. It looks white. Yeah,
so that's only with one D, not two Ds, like the terrible band from the early 2000s.
I don't know what you're talking about, but.
There was a band called Puddle of Mud. Anyway, so they bring it up, and it's this.
I love the fake out. That's what I'm talking about. That fake out. Oh, this is a practical joke that Eduardo was pulling on us.
No, it's not a joke because it was supposed to be specifically for Joan. Because if anyone else found it,
they would have thrown it away.
The treasure was a fucking Easter. Yeah. Oh wow. Because even Jack says, "What a cruel joke someone's playing right now."
And the fact that it's an Easter bunny,
it's an Easter egg,
and an Easter egg at the same time. And I was like, "This is smart writing.
Yeah, great.
This is a woman writing this."
And this is before Easter eggs in film
was a thing,
quote unquote, were a thing. And it was like, "Oh no." In my first novel, they hid it in an idol and they had to break it open to find it, and they find this. That had to be what?
Rotoscoped. It's a real green rock.
Yes.
Because in when they handed it over, you can see it's a green glass, but they had to, in the light that they were using, I guess. It wasn't pronounced enough. It wasn't shiny enough. So they rotoscoped it to make it look like it's shiny.
Have the proper sheen. And, but also the actual current value of that at the time of it being one of the, if not the largest emerald in the world, probably about anywhere between $18 to $20 million.
I have no idea.
Right there.
But when he holds it like this, it kind of looks like it's fake, like he's holding something else.
Yeah. Because it looks like she has a spotlight on it. The lighting.
No, he is, or somebody's holding a flashlight on it, but it wouldn't look this fake if you look at the backdrop. I mean, it doesn't carry through in this particular video. It's hard to see, but when you see the movie, it's like kind of looks like it's not green, and they added the green on top of it.
Yeah. And what's great too is right there, like, wow, it's like, oh god, we're in real trouble now. And here comes Ralph going, "You have no idea."
Yeah. So Ralph comes in, Danny DeVito's character. He comes in, he's like, "Okay, put this in this bag. It's time to go." But then before they leave the cave, he references something that a few years later becomes actual truth. And here we go.
"Now move it before Batman comes home."
You missed it? Here we go again.
"Now move it before Batman comes home."
I laughed so hard.
It's so fun. In retrospect, it's hilarious.
And I completely forgot it was there.
For those uninitiated, Danny DeVito played the Penguin in Batman Returns.
Played the Penguin.
Yeah.
What? 8 years later? 91?
Because it was
92.
Well, the filming would have been 91, so 83, 91, 8 years later,
So then, of course,
also he has the whole bit where he actually references the title in it. Oh yeah, you're a con man because you're romancing it from her. Because, as you know, romancing the stone. You know what that means, right?
Yes, it's a gemologist
the jeweler's
term.
phrase. How they actually were able to cut it to fit into a piece of jewelry is romancing. Quote unquote, romancing.
It's basically finessing it into the placement of where the jewel meets the stone. Yeah.
Jewel meets the piece of metal. Yeah.
I love the fact that Ralph runs and he's like,
I'm like, listen, dude, with them little legs, how the fuck did you not just be like, I'm gonna get in the back of the car and still just ride with them out? Because my little Danny DeVito legs are not gonna carry me very far, bud.
And he almost gets trampled by the horses too, which he
still calls them Mounties.
He calls them Mounties. I was like, Mounties is very specifically Canadian.
Wrong fucking country, but same
cavalry, maybe.
Well, actually, no, different continent as well, because this is South America.
Yeah. Not even caballeros.
Well, if he would have called them caballeros, then be fine.
Well, it is what it is. My Spanish is fucking awful. So they go into the river with the car, and she floats.
She basically pulls a wand, where it's like, well, this is what her brother did.
Yeah.
And they end up on either sides of it after going over, and then she gets all pissy. Which is like, no, you ended up on one side of the river, and I'm on the other. Like, you planned this. How
would he plan this?
Would he plan this?
I want to get to that. Oh, well, guess it's like, how are you? Stop trying to drive the car.
You can't drive.
It's just, it's these little bits that kind of made it the watch for me enjoyable, because, like I said, at the start of the movie, it's really a slog until the action starts and the bus
it's a slog until you get to Colombia, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. So when Joan kind of gets to the hotel, she calls Ira and it's like, yeah, just bring the thing. And he's looking for the map. Yeah. Because Ralph hasn't. Know. Yeah, Ralph hasn't told him yet that they have the stone.
Yeah.
And when they she even asks the hotel dude if
has anyone checked under the Jack T. Colton yet?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, there is a moment where he says Jack T. Colton. I don't remember who asks him, what's the T stands for?
Okay, they were on the plane. T is for trustworthy.
He says it? I don't remember.
Now he says that when they're on the plane, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I thought it was Tiberius. Never mind. That's a Star Trek joke.
No. I know it is. Feel bad about it. Sit in it for a second. Feel how bad you feel right now.
I feel really good with myself. So she gets to the drop off. Ira's still,
and also before that, she goes on the quote unquote the Orca as
the Orca
to Jaws, which is great.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh well, yeah. By the way, I didn't know what else is with you, right? So put down the map. Ira walks up, looks down, picks up the map, puts on his jeweler's scope for a map.
Yeah, that's the thing I didn't understand.
Okay, whatever.
Why would he wants to look at if the paper is correct. That's the only thing I could think about. Why? It's sort of like if you have the jeweler's kind of scope, you're looking at things authentically. No idea.
I don't know
why.
It was just a very odd turn, but also it was like, oh yeah, and by the way, you guys can go. We're like,
Yeah.
Oh my god, the only reliable con man here.
Yeah. And then, of course, everyone joins in. Jack is in. Zolo's army's there. He's catching, he's grabbing everybody.
The cut to the alligators. Those are technically alligators, right?
Yeah.
They're not crocodiles because they wouldn't. Yeah,
who cares?
Anyway, but again, I was going, look at those snappers.
Yeah.
And how the entire bit too, where they basically
the crocodile tears, and it's sort of like the blood.
Because that's what I was thinking. Where I'm like, no, because alligators are in this part of the country, so I just don't know. Yeah.
The ending was rough.
It was rough.
It's
the
rough.
only fun bit about it, like it's in a safe place, and he hits him in the nuts, and it's like, of course, that's where Jack would hide it.
Yes, I know.
It rolls down his pant leg.
He's like shaking his leg, and I was like, "How? If it was there, it would hurt even worse, I think." But
yeah, I would think so.
Because he acts like the jewel or the stone was like a cup or something. But
yeah, also, sir, that had kind of rough edges around it, and also it's you don't have any underwear on underneath, I don't think, sir.
And even if he does, want to get to, so the last bit was Jack going after the crocodile, because they keep cutting away to to a specific crocodile that moves away, the croc that bit off Zolo's hand with the stone inside.
Which is, I think, one of the funniest bits is like, well, choke on it. And he kicks it, gets in his hand. And, it cuts for too long. And Zemeckis is very, very infamous because if you notice, several films that we're going to review later, but also in his entire catalog, if it focuses in on one scene for too long, something important's going to happen and they're waiting for the effect to hit. That's why they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, then it bites.
Yeah, I know. But to me, it was like, oh, this is I don't know how Zemeckis pulled this off, but I bet you it's from him and it's a Peter Pan reference. That's the first thing that came into my head.
You're exactly right.
I know, right?
You're 100% right.
Not only that, chat can check me up on this. Zolo's hand that got ripped apart was the same hand that Hook ripped apart, which is the left hand, I think. Let me check.
Well.
Let me see.
Most importantly,
yes, the left hand.
It's the most important thing is the fact that Zolo as a character is the one trying to destroy the fantasy life of the characters in the narrative. That's actually from the waiters who wrote it specifically as an allegory to this.
Oh, so it comes from her?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Zemeckis thing.
No, it's a tie-in. It's all a tie-in.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was waiting to get to this point to talk about it because it's really, really cool.
And I only brought it up because I thought it was really weird because
also,
Spielberg did Hook.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but also how the author becomes the heroine in her own narrative, and she lives out this fantasy story.
And Wendy's the one telling the story of how she met Peter Pan. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
see,
this movie has layers.
Dude, this is like a Shrek onion. It has layers. It's unreal because when I picked this movie, sincerely, I picked this movie. I'm dead serious. this is one of Zemeckis' earlier works.
Correct.
There was that connection. I knew about the connection of. I didn't know he was fired from Cocoon to do Back to the Future, but I knew just because I reviewed Back to the Future and I went into the history of it, is the fact that right after this, and because of this movie, he was able to make Back to the Future.
Yeah.
So that was to me that was the tie-in, and then sort of like after rewatching it, and I thought, well, this isn't really. I guess I can spot some things, but when we kind of went into the research, this is why I love making the show and talking to you specifically, is we find these little idiosyncrasies
yes,
that really elevate the movie for me. If we would have graded it on a scale of 1 to 10 with like 7.2, that elevates a movie that is essentially a 7 to 7.3, just because of these little things that were put into the movie. The comedy bits, the sophisticated screenplay writing, the visuals or the visual effects or whatever it was. And it does it for me. It actually does it for me. And I love rediscovering movies. And this is why I look at the art, not the artist.
Yep.
Specifically for that point of view. That moment, and again, it's like clever comedy.
Well, and also, in
Jack
the end
trying to pull the fucking
crocodile by the tail, like, no, I got, don't you go. and then eventually, like, she calls for him, but also, again, in the narrative of Peter Pan, who defeats Captain Hook?
I don't remember. It's not Peter Pan. Is it Wendy? No,
it is Peter Pan, but the one who's living out her dream story, her dream scenario. The fact that she even utilizes something from her own narrative to when she throws the dagger.
Okay.
Try to get him. So it's like this, like she's living her dream right now. It's.
I just love the fact that they immediately, in this tense, action-oriented moment, her sister faints.
And yeah. Which, by the way,
breaks that tension in the entire scene for a little bit.
I find very, very funny is that Mary Helen Trainor has been in both Zemeckis films that we've covered so far.
That's right. Weird, isn't it? And, some actors just love to have certain directors.
Well, some directors just love
like Robert Eggers and Willem Dafoe.
Oh, have you seen Nosferatu yet? It's good. It's really good. It's really good.
Not as good as I thought it would be.
I would say
Still
it's not as good as A Lighthouse, but it's good.
A Lighthouse is a very different movie.
Yeah, Lighthouse, you have to be in a certain
very different movie.
Yeah.
So Jack has a decision: either let go of the crocodile and essentially let go of the stone, and come back, and come back to save Joan, or go after the crocodile. Of course, he decides.
But what's great too is the fact that his efforts to go after Joan are completely in vain, and even they have that own like self-flagellating, masturbatory action, not flagellation, masturbatory bit where you have Michael Douglas doing a rock climbing scene again up the tower. Yeah.
And of course, the moment, and I love that I can't really show it, where you see her looking towards the future with the city in the back, but it's Cartagena. And no, hold on. Yeah.
Well, that it cuts to actually her being in her publicist, Gloria's office, where Gloria is the one crying this time, whereas typically it was Joan who's crying at the end of her novels.
Yes.
So, like,
no,
growth.
No, I mean Joan looking towards sort of the the
Skyline,
horizon.
Yeah, no, I got
the horizon, and cut to her. It's a nice little fade where with her blocked into the same spot on the camera, which is great. Which is just, it's not CGI effects. It's just a regular fade.
Also, can we just give more credit to Diane Thomas, who wrote this screenplay? I mean, seriously, with the necklace, even like, oh, my corazon, as she has a little, like, it's perfect.
And we didn't mention that it's sort of the jewel that not the jewel, but the sort of the trinket he gives her at that village where they have that romantic moment. They sit down, they eat dinner. He gives her the trinket, and then they go out and dance, and then they have sex at the end. I love the fact that she goes home and
she's a completely different woman too, because she's before she was very apprehensive when all the street peddlers were like, no, she's like, no, thank you, no,
yeah, but she is outgoing, happy. You can see her demeanor really on the opposite end of the spectrum as opposed to her in that apartment.
Also, lady, are you blind? Can you not see the yacht sitting outside your fucking house on a goddamn big rig, like from 45 fucking miles away?
Well, to be fair, you've been to Manhattan.
Well, especially
if she comes from a different street and just goes around the corner, it's a completely different thing.
But I was going to say also, did he also pay for the traffic to stop? Because that's not how Manhattan works at all. Because you've been there now, and and like I said, and this is it's a twofold thing. One that is related to the movie, and one that is not. One that is related to the movie. Again with the Peter Pan reference. Yeah,
he made the crocodile into his boots.
And also like he suffered a fatal case of indigestion.
And I thought, that's hilarious.
That's a good line.
It's a good line. It's hilarious. To me, if Kurt Russell would have been there as Jack Burton and not Colton, that would have been
so fucking good. I know.
Chef's kiss.
Can retcon this in our mind.
Well, he's too old now. It doesn't matter. Because it did work with Michael Douglas. It's a very different role. I don't think he ever done a role like this. Like, he did the two movies. And then he's never really had an adventure swashbuckling story like this.
An adventure kind of story? No, not ever since. Well, not an adventure, like comedy anyway.
No. And then they sail/drive into Horizon. I was like, that's hilarious. That's really funny. It's a great way to end the movie. And I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it layers of stuff going into this, and you can pick it apart, but you could also watch it as face value and still have sort of the same enjoyment. I had more enjoyment this time around just because of, is it a Peter Pan thing? And then looking back, the Batman line was hilarious.
It's hindsight is 2020 when it comes to that line, and it's pitch perfect. But
oh my God,
don't die on me, buddy.
Anyway, no, I'm not dying.
You got coffee to finish and nuggies to eat.
But nuggies are in the fridge. They're gonna wait till tomorrow. I can't really eat. It's almost midnight over here. Well, it's a great time to end the show. But before that, do you have anything else to add?
All I have to say is, if you're a fan of just any kind of adventure films, this is gonna be right up your alley. It doesn't matter, especially obviously if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, you're gonna absolutely adore this film.
To me, it was very different from Indiana Jones in a good way. In a good way.
But you can see the parallels there where people would automatically assume, again, as someone in our chat mentioned, like, well, wasn't this Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Not really. Not really.
But I would have to say again, it's a very, very easy watch. 145 minutes, soup to nuts.
Yeah. And it's a 24 minute slog until you get to the good bits, I would say.
Yeah.
So let's be fair with it. So, but before we leave, we have to say that next week we have a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Completely different movie that I came to find out that it is very controversial, as in
it is.
A lot of people love it. And a lot of people really hate it. So I'm probably on the love it camp, and All My Feelings is on the hate it camp.
No, I am actually on the I love the people who hate it because I find it hilarious why they hate it. Because I think it's
going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show.
Fucking funny.
So the movie we're talking about is the movie Contact from 1997. Jodie Foster, Matthew McConaughey. Aliens, technology, religion, religious fanatics.
Maybe Jesus, maybe a dead
Jesus,
dad.
Maybe not know. Jesus, maybe aliens, maybe making this all up. And a stellar performance by James Woods, who flip-flops twice in the movie.
Oh my God, he flip-flops more than the Big Show back in WWE.
Yes, and if you know, you know. So go out and watch Contact from 1997, and come watch us next week, next Saturday, same time, same place. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. Remember, they dismantle USAID, or not really USAID, USAID, and you never thought they would.
Yep.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go. Sorry, it was on my mind. We're still live.
Nah.
Come on, end the stream. Stream here, it says a bitch. End stream.